Hey up, ghosties. Heyo. Turn this fucking music down, Christ. I keep it very loud for the intro, and then I make it very not loud for everything else. Hopefully you guys can still hear the music without it being deafening. How are we? Emily, thanks for this first, and also the Spotify reminder, which I totally ignored until right now. There we go, I'm in private now. Okay, thank you. Hey up, Crystal and Cyber and Dawn. Hope you guys are well today. Casual little group of peoples in today. I'm here. Head empty, no thoughts, that kind of day. I might see if I can drag some of my friends in here so they can come and hang out and chitter chatter with me. Emily being one of the people who has agreed to come in and chitter chatter with me if she wants to. I'm just gonna work on some art. I don't have like a whole lot of like specific, like, this is what I have to talk about today. Just like a casual chitter chatter, one of those days. I feel like I'm not super late today. And then I remember that it's already 20 minutes past when I'm supposed to be streaming, and then I'm like, oh, I'm late. But that's just me living my life and accidentally being this person. Yeah, I don't know, man. I was supposed to do like actual writing and shit today, and I simply did not do that at all. I ended up reading all day again, and then talking to Serena on the couch for the rest of the day, and that has been our whole day. So I didn't get anything done, so we're trying to try and get some art done today. Fucking hopefully. Everybody, my name is Almost Sander, and welcome home. How are we? How are we doing, boys? Oh, Soldier Poet King is on. I hope we're doing well. My hair is a legitimate mess. I look so disheveled right now. I look about as good as I'm feeling today. Like I'm like not quite awake. I'm a little disheveled. I'm a little bit of a mess, but like, it's not the end of the world today. It's just like, it's a midday. We're just living. We're just here, and we're just kind of gonna do our best. I have some ideas. Ooh, Dawn, I'm glad you are existing. Proud that you're still alive here. Cyber, what kind of ideas are you having? Hello, Finn. Thank you for the follow. Hi, Dad. It's been a while. Do you still support Dream? That is not how you enter a stream. First of all, hello, welcome in. Glad you're back. It has been a while, although it does say first. You followed. I don't know if you might be a different account or whatever, but welcome back in. I am generally one who doesn't like the apologies. It's okay. It's just the most insane. Can you imagine, right? Just from my perspective, imagine someone has burst in your front door, kicks your door down, slams it open. It's been so long. Hello, do you support Dream? Like, it's just like, it's the most insane concept of like, it's like, what happened to hello? Do you know what I mean? I'm not actually like mad or whatever. It's just fucking funny. As for do I support Dream? I don't fucking care about the man. That's my stance. I just don't fucking care. Do I think he's a thing I can't say out loud on Twitch or I'll get banned? I don't fucking know. I'm not in his personal life. I can't decide those kind of things. Do I think he's a good person? Nah. I don't really give a fuck. I'm not I don't know. That's my stance. I'm all here for supporting the victims and listening to their stories and all of that, but I also am absolutely not in his life. I'm not in their lives. I'm not a legal person. I have no way to tell you what is or is not true. That's about it. Always believe the victims, but that doesn't mean ruin other people's lives, so on and so forth. It just means believe the victims. Yeah, that's about my whole stance about it. I also just don't talk about him because I'm going to be completely honest. He's just another white man on the internet that I just don't care about. I could be asked to care less. Word, so real. Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm so sick of his drama. Like, I just don't care. I just really, really don't care. I'm really sorry to all the people whose lives have been completely destroyed by this man's existence, and for all the people who have been sent death threats because of him or whatever, but like, beyond that, man, I could care less about him. I have personal taste. Like, I personally, in terms of taste, I'm not interested in him. I don't like his content, and that's about it. Like, I'm not interested in him, therefore I don't care. I just don't like him. I have no clue what's going on with the current drama. I've just never really liked him. Me neither. I've never really liked the man. He makes me a little uncomfortable. I don't like the way he treats certain creators. Some of his content has been questionable, and that's about it. That's legitimately where it ends for me. What happened? Hello, how are you? Real. That's literally gonna be like, I'm gonna like burst into my mother's house and be like, quick, what's your political party? Like that's like the types of intros I'm gonna start doing. All right. Let me go join in with my friends. I want to talk to my friends. Turn my music down a little bit so I can hear them. Quick, I'm live. Emily, what's your stance on Dream?
I never hated him as much as everyone else did.
Valid.
I still don't really hate him. I watched his videos when he was really popular. From what I know, all of the allegations have been proven mildly false, but I don't really care.
Real.
I think he's fine. I think that he is a 22-year-old.
That's something I forget sometimes, that like I forget to bring up. He's legitimately a child. Like, I know 22 isn't actually a kid or whatever, but like a lot of his mistakes were done as a legitimate like child, and also he's younger than me and I've done some stupid shit, but like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I also I don't ruin lives, but also I don't really think he was intending to do that.
I don't think that he is a villain.
No, I don't think so. Question, says Cyber. If I put you in my story as a major villain, would you be cool with that? Yes, are the ideas I'm having. Absolutely. 100% I'd be so chill with that. I'd be totally down playing a villain. What's the fucking quote? What's the fucking quote of the, like, if you think I'm a villain, then I'll be one. That fucking quote. I can't remember what it is. That villain. Whatever it is. Yeah. Make me your villain. Whatever the fuck it is. Yeah, no, that's chill. Can I at least be a cool villain? Can I be like an empathetic villain where like you kind of understand where he's coming from?
One of those like kind of mildly annoying villains that you don't really want to look on. Like when he like shows up, you're kind of like,
this fucker again.
Because every villain is empathetic and broody nowadays. I want annoying villains to come back.
I don't need to be broody. I want to be the one. I want to be like the villain who like is definitely has the right intentions, but has just gone batshit way too far with it. Like takes everything too far. Sonny, have a good day. Thank you for keeping up that stream streak and stopping in. No worries about sticking around. Hazel, hello, welcome in. Hope you're well. Dr. Doofenshmirtz, real. Make me Dr. Doofenshmirtz. Make me take everything too far. Somebody slights me even a little bit, I'm gonna burn your country to the ground and fail wildly at it. Don't let me succeed even once.
Bring back villains without a cause. They bring back villains that are just really annoying and mildly evil for just like no reason.
Because they've got nothing better to do. Like, they're fucking bored.
I bring back unempathetic villains.
Bring them back.
People are too big on the morally gray. You know, it could have been anyone. No, I want him to be like a comically conniving like evil guy.
You're a villain against your will, but you don't care. You just see it as a way to cause utter chaos. Perfect. Yeah, I'll take it. I don't care. I'm just here to cause problems because that's what brings me joy. And anytime people are like, "What? Why'd you do it? What is your reasoning? What horrible childhood did you have?" Man, I'm just having fun. I'm just here to fuck around because fuck you. That's why I'm having a good time. Loosen up a little and blow up a country every once in a while. God damn. Like, fuck having your characters having like deep and serious meaning behind every action they do. Fuck it. Sometimes people are human beings and just fucking do shit. Fuck you. This is not actual writing advice, but it is fun. I'm drawing Azazel again. I wasn't happy with this sketch from yesterday. I thought it was horrible, so I started over. So we're a good chunk of it back into it. Emily so kindly borrowed me her hands so I could sketch them out, and now I'm working on that.
I am built to please.
She sure is, man, and my god, she's good at it.
Sorry, I'm eating excuse me?
Sorry?
Anyways.
I don't know what you're talking about, man.
I'm eating pretzels.
Are they good at least?
They're okay.
Bro, there's like,
they're fine.
I don't understand. There's a mark somewhere on my drawing and I can't figure out where it is. Oh, thank you for the rats.
You got ratted.
I'm absolutely fucking ratted. Hello. Dr. Eggman and Dr. Doofenshmirtz being beaten up by egg-laying mammals. That is way too specific. Way too specific. Hedgehog lay eggs? Am I missing something? Hedgehogs do not lay eggs, one. And also, Dr. Eggman got beat up by Knuckles, who was laid in an egg. Also isn't a hedgehog, isn't echidna.
Did somebody say Knuckles?
Yeah, Knuckles is an echidna. And also echidnas also don't lay eggs, from what I understand.
I think my favorite.
They do?
Echidnas lay eggs.
Bro. Excellent. Anyway, sorry.
They produce one egg a year.
Huh.
I've never been a Sonic fan. Not that I didn't like Sonic. I just don't care about Sonic.
I was the same.
But I think that it's funny. And I think that there's some interesting dynamics there. And my least favorite character of all of the main ones of like Sonic, Tails, like Amy, my least favorite of the main ones was always Knuckles, just because I didn't know who the fuck he was. And then my friends and I did roleplay.
Yup.
Well, it wasn't roleplay. It was everyone was becoming mammals, and someone told me to become an echidna, so I became Knuckles.
We told you to become a hedgehog, and you became Knuckles, which we then screamed about it.
It was a chinchilla.
No, you're right. It was a chinchilla.
Because Wicked thought that Knuckles from Sonic was a chinchilla, and we had to tell her that was in fact not correct. and then Wicked's like, you should become a chinchilla, so I jokingly became Knuckles.
Right.
And then Reese became Shadow.
Yup.
And then you became Tails.
Yeah.
And then Tyrio became Silver, got bullied, and became Sonic.
Yeah.
So
I love Tails. He was like my favorite.
Now I have an unhealthy attachment to Knuckles from Sonic because I played him.
I was never.
I think Rouge is also cunty, but
Rouge is cunty.
I played.
She
the most
serves.
Stupid man. I played he's supposed to be like this angry serious man, and I played him like a himbo.
Who, Knuckles?
Yeah.
Oh, Knuckles is the himbo. Shadow's the dark one.
I always thought that Knuckles was really angry.
No, he's literally himbo.
I thought Knuckles was supposed to be kind of angry, like good spirited, but kind of mad all the time. And Shadow was just broody villain. They're both angry.
Knuckles definitely had some angry to him, but it was always dumb himbo angry, and he didn't need to be angry, but he was he just wanted to punch things. He's a goofy dude, but I also didn't play the Sonic games very much, so maybe I shouldn't be speaking on it.
But I played Nux.
I played Nux.
Nux.
Good old fashioned Nuck.
Yeah, I was Knuckles on the server for a while, but I quite like him now. I like what I
grown an attachment. Okay. That's one hand. Nux is mad but dumb. Yeah, they're both angry. Yeah, that checks. After Prime, I'll never see Tails the same way again. Oh, God. I always liked Tails because he was just a little happy dude. It was just happy to be there, man.
Man, I wonder why you like Liam.
He's just a happy guy. He's just happy.
You like the stupid little blonde ones.
I like Golden Retriever energy. That's my favorite. I always couldn't tell if I wanted a Golden Retriever boyfriend or the emo goth dark, edgy, broody kind of boyfriend or whatever. And in my teen years, I was very determined that what I wanted was the dark, brooding, mother doesn't understand me kind of guy. Cause that's yeah, that's always what I was that's what I'm attracted to. And as I've gotten older, I have more and more accepted the fact that as much as that is very attractive, in an actual genuine relationship, I definitely more prefer the Golden Retrievers. But also, I am the Golden Retriever. Even though I also dress and look more black cat more often than I don't. So it's really hard to just sort people into tiny little boxes that don't really work very well. Do you know?
Who would have guessed?
Who would have guessed?
That's why, you want to know my random hot take?
I love a random hot take. Hit me with it.
I think the term amnivert is stupid.
Okay, yeah, no, you're right. Go off.
I think the term amnivert is stupid.
Yeah.
I know a lot of people in here are gonna be like, no, I identify as an amnivert. Shut the fuck up. Okay?
So real, go off.
The options are, if we're gonna rank people, if we're gonna put Ollie, if we're gonna put people into fucking boxes, commit to the boxes. It's why I also hate the Slither Claw shit.
Yeah.
People can't be ranked into boxes, but we're gonna have to pick a category instead of making new ones. Introverts get energy from being by themselves. Extroverts get energy from other people. There are obvious exceptions to the rules,
Right.
but overall, people fit in one of two categories.
See,
don't make up new ones because, well, my friends give me energy. You're an extrovert then. Like, I love my friends. They still drain me. And there are some people where, like, extroverts don't get energy from every single person. And also, not every single introvert is drained from every single person. There's always anomalies. You don't have to make a new category for the exceptions.
I will say, and this, I argue I might have an even hotter take. I might have an even hotter take on that, which is, I think that all forms of categorization are stupid and useless and cause more damage than good. And I
think that they're fine under stipulation.
Unironically, I genuinely believe that categorizational boxes like that, while they are super fun and we all love partaking in them, and y'all know I like partaking in them. I'm an Enneagram slut.
Like Enneagrams?
I love Enneagram. But I truly, genuinely believe that outside of very specific circumstances, applications of categorizing human beings in any form is more detrimental than it is positive in almost every situation. And I know I love
a lot of talk on the Enneagram Soldier Poet King, man.
I love Enneagram. I am literally writing an entire fucking essay about the Enneagrams to do a video rant on it. But one of the things that I talk about is you have to come into categorizations like that with the understanding that not everybody's going to fit nicely into one category and that you may fit into several categories, and that's fine. And also, you have to already be semi-stabilized in your own personal, like, stance of who you are, like your self-identity, because if not, identity gets fluctuated by influences from outside. So, like, I'm so sick of the shit online, and I hated it back when it was fucking like like the Gryffindor, Slytherin, Ravenclaw bullshit, and then I also hated it with Divergent. Like, I loved it because I love putting myself in a little box, but it became exhausting because if you did anything that was even slightly not the box that you fit in, people would be like, I thought you were a Ravenclaw, you're really acting like a Gryffindor right now. Like, I'm sorry? Like, I'm not rewriting my personality to fit better in my box. Like, it gets so out of hand in, like, middle school, high school era. Like, people will rewrite themselves to fit an aesthetic, and it's all over TikTok right now, and it's making me fucking riot. Like, everybody, like, I don't know if you've seen the videos that are going around right now of people being like, are you, like, high contrast or low contrast, or are you fucking, like, what was the other one that's going, like, clean goth or dirty goth, or like clean girl aesthetic, or are you this type of pretty, are you fox pretty or bunny pretty?
The aesthetics?
Like, yes, these are like aesthetics, but like,
I think aesthetics are fine.
I think when we start using them as personality types, that's a problem.
I think the aesthetics is fine. Because that's
hate
kind of just like if you like I've seen those videos of like, which of these aesthetics are you, or like, are you this kind of this, and it's like I also see joke ones of like, what kind of poison are you, and it's like arsenic, and it's like, I see those are fine. I don't care. Like, those are just like little aesthetic videos. I'm fine with some categorization. I'm also a big like anti-personality test person because I always like feel the need to be different because I'm quirky, and I don't like being put in like I don't like being defined by like a thing.
No,
like, I don't like being the artsy one or like the dance. I don't like that. But also, like, I don't really care that much. Like, you can call me the artsy one because it's like true, but like,
but also to dissolve a person down, like, to, like, I mean, even if you say like, because it's true, you know, like you saying like, you can call me the artsy one even if it's true, like, that is like one of those things that like, that's so it's so not derogatory is not the word I want. It's diminutive. That's boiling you down to such a single individual point that you have nothing else about you, that like, that's where it starts to drive me crazy. Like, if you want to be like, oh yeah, I'm the artsy one in the group, like, yeah, that's chill. But being like, yeah, I'm the art friend, and that's all you're good at and all you're known for and the only thing, that like, that's so diminutive of everything else in your life. Like,
yeah,
that drives me crazy.
I'm not that harsh about it because, like, I'm okay with, like, some silly little labels, but, like, I'm also an astrology bitch, so I really can't say anything. But, like,
True, but also
yeah,
me too. I'm an Enneagram bitch, so I can't really be too critical.
I'm not a big fan of, like, personality tests and, like, labels that, like, yeah, I am this. But, like, I also prefer them. I prefer sticking with, like, if my rule is, like, if you're gonna label yourself with, like, some asinine, like, label from, like, a book or a show, or, like, just overall, like, if you're gonna pick one of these categories based on who you are, you can't make up new ones. Like, these are the options. Yes, no human being is going to 100% fit into the definition of dauntless, but I need you to be flexible.
Yeah.
Like, that's my thing. Like, that's like my, like, if you're gonna fit a personality test, you got to be a little bit lenient. You can't just, like, redefine it because you are in fact a human being who is too complex to be labeled by a
Right.
personality. It's like, if you're gonna have fun,
Yeah.
like, stick to the rules. That's, like, my rule. Like, you know, like,
Play by the rules, damn it.
you are not an amnivert. Like, that's,
See,
like,
and I definitely
I don't actually care that much about amniverts. If you want to identify as an amnivert, I don't care. I just don't like the term.
I personally think it comes from what I'm talking about in terms of the fear of, like, somebody being like, but what if I'm none of those things? Like, then what am I? Like, what if I don't fit into any of the houses? And that's where people get this need to be like, well, actually, I'm a Slitherclaw because I'm both of them because I'm two things. It's like, yes, babe, you don't have to panic. We're not trying to say that this is your only personality type and this is the only thing you are or ever can be. Like,
yeah, that is it. It's okay, babe. You do not have to be just a Hufflepuff.
The people who make up
but you are a Hufflepuff for the time, but you are more than that.
Yeah, the people who make up those new labels, I think, are the people who panic because they're like, but I'm none of these things. And what if I'm none of these things? And if I'm none of these things, then what do I do? Because then I'm not anything. And it's like it's like, babes,
I'm not a Slither. Like, I need you to calm down.
Like, chill, baby. It's literally the point of it is that it is nondescript. Like, the point of it is that it's over dramatically, like, restrictive on the purpose.
It's supposed to be restrictive.
It's supposed to be
like Enneagrams for people with OCs, though. Mr. Enneagram told me.
Mr. Enneagram whispered in Ollie's ear that it's specifically for people's OCs. Because I will say, personality type tests like that, like Enneagrams or even like Hogwarts houses or what is the other one? Divergent series thingies. Or even like any personality type like that. Those are really useful for writing book characters because book characters aren't human beings who live full lives, and you can write them like they are, but being able to define their personalities into easily categorizable traits makes it a lot easier to write a character, and you'll benefit because your character arcs will be more clear. Like, I honestly, I used to be very into the concept of, like, you have to write a character as if it's a real human being, but also you don't, because it's a book, and that's a character, and they're not a human being, and being all like, but human beings just do things without reason sometimes. It's like, yeah, and that makes a great human being and a really annoying character. Like, write your characters with purpose, people. They're not real people. This is just...
Going back for just a second.
Yeah, let's rewind.
John said they also made Shadow real zesty in Prime, and I argue that Shadow has always been zesty.
Yeah, real.
Anyways, back to this.
Yeah, none of this is, like, super important. Like, none of it's, like, /SRS. Like, I don't usually get, like, heated about it. The only part of this I do get heated about is the writing thing.
I promise. I hate the astrology thing where it's like, you're this sign and you must act like this, and it can't be that way. I get this a lot as when I say that I like astrology. I promise that I don't think that. There are a few select people that will base their judgment on you based on when you were born. And I don't necessarily think that those people are necessarily in the right, but most of the time it's kind of for gags and or just kind of like a joke.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's more so just like people from this sign tend to be like this, but there's also a lot that goes into it than just your sun sign. I'm not going to talk about astrology right now. I don't need to do that. But like, there's a lot that goes into it.
I've learned a lot of it from you. Like,
it's in fact a pseudoscience, and it's not real, but like, it's still interesting. It's like being a Slytherin.
Yeah.
Like, it's
literally...
It's arguably more real than being like a Slytherin because it actually is derived from culture, but like, still.
And even like it is a pseudoscience, and so is something like a sorting house or whatever, and so is the Enneagram. No matter how much it relates into like these are repeatable, seen characteristics viewed in people with this type of childhood trauma, and these things are like easily viewed in people that you can connect them over and over again to these types of reactions. It's still a pseudoscience. It's still all personality bullshit because no human being fits nicely into a box.
No, yeah.
I'm trash there for everything.
Boxes, and you've chosen the correct box.
Hi, Reese.
You have to choose the right box.
The only thing that annoys me is when people are like, I fucking hate Capricorns. I've only ever met bad Capricorns or any other sign. Like, everyone I know is a different set of signs they hate for no reason. And part of why it's annoying is because I simply don't get it. Like, I can't keep up. Yeah, I also cannot usually keep up. Like I said, I learned a lot from you, Emily, in terms of like star signs, but I admittedly I'm one of those people who also doesn't like to be super categorized by people I don't know. And so when people would ask me my star sign, like in high school and college, I would just fucking lie because there was nothing I had more fun with than having somebody hear like, oh yeah, sorry, I'm an Aries. And they're like, you know what? That makes a lot of sense. It's like, does it, babe? Does it? And I never meant it in like a mean way. Like was never trying to make fun of them, but I was always just curious of how whatever random sign I could pull out of my ass somehow made sense to my personality.
So much sense, and it's like, yeah, that's definitely true. Mm-hmm.
Like, and
yep.
And it never was like, I never meant it to be mean. And I guess saying it out loud does sound like it's like I'm like making fun of them, but it was always just like, there were some people who would be like, oh, that's really cool. This is my sign. And I'd be like, oh, okay, you were just genuinely curious. And some people would be like, see, I knew it because you acted like this. And I'm like, see this. And you're the type I'm not trying to interact with because you're already pre-labeling me based off of a lie I just told you. And that's what drives me crazy. Like, I don't like people who make judgments off of people based off of stuff like that. That's like a whole nother situation. And those ain't just the astrology bitches. The fucking everyone.
I like astrology normally, and like I'm not gonna shit on someone because they happen to be a Gemini, but I also like it's kind of like how people like shit on vegans. Like there's shitty people in it, but like give me a break here. Like I was just curious, like
and
I just want to know. And
those people, I almost always will make a comment back to them. If people are like, oh, that's cool, I'm this, I would be like, oh, okay, yeah, I'm actually like whatever, and they'd be like, what? And I'd explain myself. But like, it's one of those things that like, I don't know. There's groups of people who are like totally chill with it, but there's also groups of people outside of astrology that would be like, oh, you identify as a Slytherin, that's really suspicious. Why do you feel the need to do that? And I'm like, well, what the fuck do you want? Like, you know what I mean? Like,
there are 4 options. It's not like I'm picking from a chapter book right here.
Yeah, it's like, this is just the ones that I most happen to identify with based off of their, like, descriptions in a book. Like, what do you want from me?
I think why people really don't like astrology especially. Like, I feel like people will give you more shit.
It's a hobby that women have.
It's a hobby that women have.
Yep.
Yes. People don't like the fact that women like astrology. And also it's the fact that they feel called out if it is accurate and if it's not accurate. Because they're like, well, because you can't change it. That's the thing about astrology is unlike a house, you choose a house. You can kind of sway Enneagram results. You can't choose when you're born,
right? You can't like try to fit in or try not to.
Xander, you can't really choose your sign. You can't change it
unless you're me.
So like people don't like the fact that like if something happens to be accurate and they don't like that like personality thing, they get really like defensive, and or if it's not accurate, they're like, oh, of course it doesn't make any fucking. It's like it's not supposed to. It's just broad statements. I don't fit Aries. I'm an Aries and I don't fit the personalities for Aries, but I still think that it's cool. Like I'm like, it's okay.
Yeah. And it's like,
it's just the fact that they can't choose it and they can't change it that they feel like more targeted. And also, yes, it is a hobby for women that is primarily something for alternative women, and people don't like that.
Yeah, it's definitely one of those things that like people definitely get really insecure about. I mean, I even was like, it's the reality of it is that like I was really insecure because everyone would be like, oh, you're a Libra, and I felt like they were judging my actions based off the fact that I was born in a certain time of year, and thus I was like gossipy and bitchy, and I was like, it's like I was being put in a category that I didn't have any say in, and so it pissed me off because I was like, I I don't identify with that because I am none of those things. But the second I tell you when I'm born, you're going to assume I'm all of those things. And that's where like astrology would piss me off because you're right. It was something I didn't get a say in. So it's like at least if I'm saying like, oh yeah, I'm a Slytherin, it's saying I'm okay being identified as these personality traits. But like saying like,
if it makes you feel any better, Libras are relatively liked. So
they weren't when I was growing up. I don't know what experiences other people have had.
Libras are like one of the most insignificant signs in the entire fucking lineup. I'm not gonna lie to you, man. Nobody talks about Libra.
Everything
Not a damn soul.
I got real lucky. I got probably the most liked.
Sagittarius is the most liked sign in the entire lineup. I swear to God, no one dislikes Sagittarius.
Yeah, like it's like I'm
like the most like, oh yeah, that's cool. Like everyone likes Sagittarius.
Dead ass. I've never met an aquarium.
You never meet an aquarium? Man, do I have news for you, bro.
Sorry, Crow. I don't mean to make fun of like the spelling errors. It was just a really, really funny one. I normally would never.
Had someone spell Aquarius correctly.
It's not even that you spelt it wrong. It's just that you've never meet an aquarium is really funny.
I have never meet an aquarium. Have you now?
Like. Yeah, my friends hate Capricorn and Taurus. Yeah, see, and I was hated on for being a Libra.
Hate Taurus. That's also another really light sign.
Tauruses are the stubborn ones. A lot of people don't like Taurus.
That's it. That's all they got. That's the only stereotype is that they're stubborn. That's it.
That's enough.
And the stereotype of Sagittarius is also that they're really fucking stubborn, but they're one of the most liked out there.
The thing is they're adventurous. That's like
they're like adventurous and free-spirited.
Free-spirited.
Yeah.
No, on the internet, in my space personally, people do not like Gemini, Scorpio, Aries, or Cancer. Those are like the sign, and even Cancer sometimes is like iffy. They just don't like them because they're emotional. But like, especially Gemini, are the sign that people fucking hate. And I'm like, I need us to calm down. It's not that deep. People cannot help if they are born in June and July.
Yeah, admittedly, the experience I had with it was Libras were really disliked. So were Scorpios. Libras were disliked because apparently we're vain, self-centered, and gossipy.
That's Leo. That's Leo.
I don't care what it actually is. I'm just telling you what people told me I was.
Okay, interesting.
Like,
okay.
And when people say that this is what Libras are, is that Libras were the ones who are like the beauty standards, like, and like everything is romance and love, and you're trying to get with everybody. Like, I genuinely got judged for being a Libra. Like, it was such a weird thing, and I always got fucking sensitive about it because people are like, oh, of course you're a Libra, like, and I was like, what the fuck does that mean? Like,
I got those with Aries, and everyone hates Aries, so it's okay.
Yeah,
you just gotta not take it too seriously.
My friend growing up was a Scorpio. I mean, she got more shit than I did, TBH. Everyone's like, oh yeah, of course, angry women core, especially it doesn't help she's also Hispanic. So it's like angry Hispanic women, like, oh, it's all fucking over.
Of course.
Like, oh my God, she got hate on for that shit.
People don't like Aries because the stereotype for Aries is that they are hot-headed, abrasive, mean, and like to fight. And are overall like immature.
Yeah, you're definitely one to fight.
Anybody raises their voice at you.
Any of these positive traits.
You're definitely the one to start scrapping. Emily's throwing fists.
You know me, very hot-headed. You know me.
Oh, your rising is Cancer. What are your moon and rising signs? Like the fuck? Yeah, I'm a Cancer moon, which is that's my emotional state, isn't it? That I'm a big emotional crybaby.
Your moon is Cancer. I love that the chat is making fun of astrology, and I'm like so dead serious. I'm like, yeah, your rising sign.
I mean, like I said, I respect the amount of like love and understanding that you have for star signs the same way I would hope people understand my like aspiration of like the Enneagrams is like we each have our personality types.
Categorization. It's fine.
It's fun shit. I don't think anybody's really hating on you for liking like star signs.
I don't actually care. I'm fine.
I know. I'm just saying. I don't think there's genuinely any hate, like, for.
I gotta check my co-star. I don't remember what any of my shit is.
Yeah. All I know is I identify as a Sagittarius rising, and I'm a Cancer moon, and that's all I know.
Yeah. No, you're not a Sagittarius rising. You're a Sagittarius sun.
Or sun. Sorry, not rising. Sorry.
I'm Sagittarius in Sun, Pluto, Mercury. What else do you want to know?
Moon.
Rising and moon.
Rising is Capricorn, moon is Aquarius.
Okay, I could see the moon as Aquarius.
I
I'm
don't
not
know
gonna
what
go
any
into it unless you
things
don't want me
mean.
to, but
Yeah.
I don't
You
really
can if
care.
I
you
also
want to.
before
Go for it.
before we even get into it, I'm gonna make it like super clear, just in case anybody in chat isn't aware of this. I know everybody's doing /J's and jokes and all of that stuff, but if any of you feel any need to actually make fun of people enjoying star signs, you can leave my chat right now because your judgment isn't wanted or necessary. So that's just a clarification. Nobody here's crossed any lines yet. I'm just putting it out there quickly right now. If you want to be judgmental, go suck dick somewhere else. That's all I'm saying. Just a preference. Anyways, go on. I'm sorry. I hate when people
Yeah.
get judgy.
People definitely don't like if you do not there's people that don't care about astrology that really like it, and people that vehemently hate it.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like
I'm
it's okay.
unknowledgeable but appreciative of it. Like I'm just stupid.
yeah.
I'm not mean.
Yeah, I'm also not really like an astrology bitch. The only reason I know about astrology is because I drew all the signs and I did a lot of research on them. And that's all that I know.
Yeah.
And because I do tarot, and a lot of them are linked with the signs as well. So
Yeah, I don't know a whole lot about it. I just know what I know that from you, and even that is very minuscule because I haven't done any research or looking into it or whatever. But that's of
I'm
my own
also
accord.
not perfect, so
Well, you're good enough for my information. Hopefully none of it's wrong.
all right. I've actually been lying this entire time.
It's like, fuck.
People actually love Geminis.
Oh no.
People love them.
My mom's a Gemini.
They're the most liked sign.
They're transparent, very truthful.
Very true. They are never ever described as changing their personality around people.
That fits a little bit. My mom's Gemini, and she's like the type of, like, you know, rewrites your personality around people kind of thing.
I honestly don't really like. It's kind of, I know a lot of Geminis. It's like probably the most prevalent sign that I know besides maybe Sagittarius and Taurus. Like I know a shit ton of Geminis.
I'm the better version of Sagittarius. Sorry, Xander.
I don't know what that means, but I'll take it. Okay.
Someone was
November
just making fun of people asking if you're a
Sagittarius.
November or a
No,
December
it's so
Sagittarius.
funny.
It matters.
Funny. I have no idea. There's no difference.
I didn't know there was a
is
difference
in
between
some cases,
months.
but I don't care. I don't know the differences, and I don't really care about them.
I know that November Sagittarius, I think, are like one of the rarer signs.
It's not necessarily one of the rarer signs. It's
just a smaller time frame.
Every sign has like a more prevalent month, and Sagittarius is December.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like you are the lesser end of the Sagittarius.
Yeah. So it's just like, oh, I'm rare, even though it's just because I play days instead of 22.
Apparently Aquarius is the rarest, followed by Aries.
Period.
And then Virgo is the most common, and Cancer is the second most common.
And I wonder why people think that I'm an Aries. I act like one as a joke. My persona is an Aries.
And
which is kind of accurate to.
So okay, wait. So it's Aquarius, and then Aries, and then Sagittarius. Those are your rarest.
Okay.
And then specifically, November would be more rare,
right?
Yeah.
I have no idea.
Definitely.
I didn't look into any of this.
Scorpio,
February.
I think, is the most common because it's the 9 months after Valentine's Day.
Damn right it is. You know when your parents fucked.
Yeah, you know when your parents fucked. I'm also an April Aries, so that's the more common of the 2 months.
I identify as December 9th as my birthday, which I think is probably
sorry.
It is really the goofiest thing to say.
It
is. December 9th is the day I was reborn. It's my T day, not my B day, but it's
No, the way that you say I identify as December 9th is really.
It is. I think it's goofy.
December 9th.
And I like saying
you are December 9th.
You are the month.
I think it's fun to say, like the trans star sign thing or whatever, or like my identify as a Sagittarius, or like my T day being this or whatever. I like saying it because in reality, none of it actually matters. I'm not trying to change my legal birthday. It's just a day that I celebrate. And also, it really, really weeds out the people that, like, if they get defensive or angry or, like, salty about that, then I'm like, you're the type of person I will not be interacting with. Thank you, goodbye. Like, no, December 9th is not National Xander Day. I mean, it could be if you wanted to.
This isn't gonna happen.
I mean, I would love to start actually like celebrating my tea day a little bit. For the most part, I like past roomie used to buy like a little like it was like a little mini cheesecake and would stick a number candle in it, which was really fun for like the first 2 years. And then this year I didn't really do much. I just kind of was like, yay, it's this day. But I'd love to like actually like celebrate it, but it's not like something that I feel like I'm, how do you say like not like, I can't like ask people to celebrate it because it's like I don't want to ask people to celebrate it because I'm asking them to celebrate a day that doesn't mean anything to anyone except for me. Like if it's like
Well, what the fuck do you think a birthday is?
well, birthdays are
Doesn't
like
mean anything to anybody except for them.
well, yeah, but like birthdays are like a specific day of the year that you're supposed to celebrate, and so everyone's like, oh my god, it's your birthday, and like everyone like that's like a regular thing. Being like, hey guys, can you celebrate my birthday again? Like, it's like, you can't just like be like, hey, I get 2 of those.
No, it's not a birthday. It's like an anniversary.
Yeah, kind
it'd
of.
be like an anniversary.
It's a tea day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like that's a fairly normal thing.
It's goofy.
Maybe not like the circumstance, but like being like, oh, it's an anniversary of an important thing in my life. Like,
yeah, I mean, maybe. I don't know. Maybe I'll do something for it next year, but luckily I've got 12 months before I have to think about that again, so... Or 11 months. But...
I don't think I've ever heard of anyone being a March Aries. People are, in fact, there are people that do exist.
People were born in the month of March.
They were born between the days of March 19th and 31, so...
It is physically possible.
My nephew is a March Aries.
I'm an April Aries, and that means I'm cool. So real. All I know is Cancer, the sign, not the disease. Got it. Thank you for clarifying.
Yeah. Those are there. Those do exist.
Crab.
Funnily enough, the tattoo I did today, I was working on a sleeve. I've been working on the sleeve. And it's like an aquatic sleeve mixed with like floral elements. And the girl has like, I think she's got like 5 kids, and she's like been like, not like intentionally, but like accidentally kind of giving like her kids as signs in the sleeve. So like she got 2 fish that were kind of like Pisces, which is her and her daughter's sign. And then she asked this time for a crab, which is one of her son's signs, which is Cancer. And so we want to put in like, they won't go with the sleeve, but she wants to put them in anyways. We're gonna do like 2 arrows because she's got 2 Sagittarius kids, and then like she's like, but one's a Taurus, so we're gonna have a problem there. I'm like, yeah, we'll work on it.
We'll make it work.
We'll figure out what we're gonna do for
Give
Taurus.
one of the fish horns.
There you go.
Yeah, I think we're gonna do like a diamond because her birthstone is diamond, so we might just do that. Like a little diamond somewhere on there. But yeah, it was just funny. She's like, yeah. I got a crab for Cancer. I got like we're going through the list.
You gotta make the list. Also, I'm gonna touch on this, and I know Emily's doesn't like it, but I'm doing it anyways because I think it's cool. There is a 13th sign, Orpheus, I believe is how it's pronounced. I might be wrong.
Fuck Orpheus.
Yeah.
Me and my homies hate Orpheus.
I don't know why everybody seems to fucking hate the 13th sign. I think it's
a change. It is change. It's gross.
I think it's kind of cool. And what you asking about how, sign being a thing, I'm confused on how that could be. The reason is that the way that your constellations are decided is literally just positioning. So like the moment that you're born, each one of your signs are determined by where that object is in the sky in reference to a constellation. So saying like my sun is in Cancer means that your sun is over or behind or like in the sky direction of the constellation of Cancer, and being like, oh yeah, my moon was in, you know, Sagittarius means that your moon was lined up with the constellation of Sagittarius. And obviously these constellations don't take up the entire sky, so there are times where you're like kind of between constellations, but like they're counted as certain constellations or whatever. But Orpheus is like another constellation that we had noticed.
It's not Orpheus, but I like it.
How do you pronounce it?
Ophiuchus.
God, I can't. I heard someone say it once.
I say it like that. It's spelled. Let me spell it.
Somebody type it out for. Hang on, I'm just gonna.
I'm doing it. I think it's this. I think it's spelled like that.
It's Ophiuchus.
Yeah.
I'm.
Ophiuchus, something like that.
I'm looking up the pronunciation right now. It is.
Ophiuchus.
How do you say this?
It's not Orpheus. I know that.
I Ophiuchus? Really? Okay.
Ophiuchus, something like that.
Okay, so the internet says the internet video says Ophiuchus, but okay, we're gonna go with Ophiuchus. I believe is the correct way. Hang on.
If I can't pronounce your zodiac sign, it does. I'm joking.
Which would make me a Scorpio.
Anyways,
It would make me a Pisces.
So anyways, the point of it is that they discovered another specific constellation that also happens to be in the lineup where the other constellations are, that certain planetary things can be crossing in front of at certain times. So like it creates another subsection of those categories, which then would adjust all of the ones around it. Because normally, say there was like this spot in the sky that if you're here, you're in this one, and if you're here, you're in this one. Creating a new one there pushes the dates of each of them slightly over. But yeah, so it's just really cool, and I think space is fun, and I know everybody doesn't like change or whatever, but like I think Ophiuchus is being, I think it's cool that we have another constellation that could be another star sign that also like, it throws into question everything that people like hold dear about constellations to a certain degree, which I think is interesting. That like people being like, but no, because if you change the dates, that means that suddenly I have to be different personality types. And it's like, it doesn't mean anything. It just is another thing. And I think it's fun. I don't know. I'm not like trying to be like a super defender or anything, like, but I don't know. I just don't, I don't think I fully understand like the wild internet hatred for it. Like, it's like everyone just fucking despises it.
I think it's just a meme at this point.
I don't
It's a
actually
joke to hate him.
Ophiuchus. I don't actually hate it, and I think that it is cool that there is the possibility of a new sign. The reason why I don't use it and a lot of people don't is less because of like the change aspect. Like, yeah, that's also kind of like but also because astrology is less so like, even though it is based on like the star patterns, it's more so like a cultural thing. Like astrology has been a thing since like thousands of years ago. Like civilizations in like early Greece have been fucking charting the stars, and it's kind of more of like it's kind of more of that reason. Like the Grecian pantheon was based around like the planets and the zodiacs, and it's all kind of tied together, and I think that that's kind of the cool aspect of astrology, which I like.
Yeah. Which like
it's kind of like more of a cultural thing, and I think adding a 13th kind of fucks with like all of the past like cultural stuff with it, but like it's also not like that big of a deal.
See, and I guess I'm just like one of those people that like there can be like the respect and the love and the appreciation of the culture, and also like the ability to like incorporate new understandings as we understand them in the world. Like I think I like the unity of that. That's just like a me thing, like that, like my personal take on it. But like I don't know, like I'm all for like honoring like cultures and the way that we've always understood something to be, while also being able to integrate in like, yeah, but we also have this new knowledge of the subject, and thus like the balance between those two things, you know? And you don't, I'm not saying anybody has to include I've already forgotten how to pronounce it. Ophiuchus? I don't remember.
Nope. There's more syllables than that.
I simply do not like, because of the math aspect of it fucks everything up.
Yeah.
It fucks with the math. It fucks with like the patterns as well, because there are 4 of each element, and if there are 13 signs, that means there are now 5 water signs, and it kind of just messes with stuff a little bit.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure why they decided to add this one specifically and not literally any other constellation, because the way that constellations work is not that.
There's a lot of there's a lot of constellations that do align with the astrological patterns, but they never added them in because they weren't ever like the constellations. It was more so like this past like history kind of thing. I don't know.
I'm sure that, I mean, I haven't done my research into it, but I'm sure there is a reason that this specific sign was added in when all the others weren't. I'm sure there's a reason for it. I don't know what it is. Also, King, it does not work that way. There are not 12 signs meant for the 12 months. That is not how it works.
No, that's not how it is.
Your dates don't even line up with the months. It's not like this month is this date. Like it lines up between 2 months more often than it doesn't.
It always does.
So
actually.
does it always? Okay. So yeah, it's like it's literally just where that item in the sky is when you're born. So it's not like, oh, if you're born in April, you're this.
Aries is like March 20th to like April 19th. Like it's
Yeah. So it's like it doesn't line up with the months at all. It's really just lined up with like
also the months. Also, there was originally only 10 months, and then my boy Julius Caesar decided to.
Thank you, Julius. Thank you, Julius, for July and August.
Thanks, bud.
So yeah, months is something that months also like astrology is true because of the stars and the way that things move don't change. But like things like days and months and years, those are all fake. Those aren't real. We made that shit up.
Yeah.
Like a year is a measurable amount of time. It is like it is a distance between like the distance traveled over the Earth around the sun. But it also means that a year is a fake made up amount of time because we just define it as how long it takes to get around the sun, which means a year for us is not a year for fucking Pluto. Like, you know what I mean? It's like
Pluto still has not made a full rotation.
Has not. It has not done a full orbit of the sun since we've discovered it. Like it's doing its best. But like, so like years are fake bullshit anyways, and things like months are also just complete bullshit. We just have the farmer's almanac that like created all of these things so that we knew when to plant our fucking food so we didn't die, and so we could track seasons and shit. Like, that's all it is. Everything is all made up. It's all bullshit. Hours aren't real. Like, I think the only, what is the one that is it seconds? I'm gonna sound like an idiot here. Is it seconds that is like a specific amount of distance traveled by the speed of light that we use to measure everything else?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Yep.
I wanted to make sure I wasn't sounding stupid with that one, but I was like, I'm fairly certain that's how seconds are determined, and that's why they're universal.
And then, yep.
Okay. But yeah.
It has to do with parsecs.
Yeah, because it's all about like the speed of light is consistent always, like, so we can use that to measure everything else.
The only thing that is ever truly consistent is the speed of light.
Yeah, so that's like the one thing that we can rely on and be like, that's how we can tell time, is because time is just a measurement of distance, and because light doesn't change the way it crosses distance, we can use it to measure everything else. It's a good basis to measure off of. Can you imagine the disruption in the universe if we found that there was like a circumstance that changed the speed at which light traveled? Like, I mean, besides like black holes.
From a standpoint of science, that the odds of us having not discovered that already and it actually being a thing are so unbelievably minimal.
Yeah, but it's never zero, because we're always discovering crazy shit that we didn't think was possible.
Yeah, it would certainly be strange, because it would disrupt every single understanding we've ever had of the known universe.
Right. That's the kind of shit that I love, is that like, as much as like humans have discovered a lot, like we really, really know a lot, we also don't know fucking anything because we don't know how much we have yet to figure out or have yet to be observable. Like there are certain things that like you kind of understood that at some point we would understand them. Like the concept of like microbiology is like something that like we understood as human beings to a certain degree, that like there was something smaller that we were not able to see that was clearly affecting things. The same thing that goes all the way down to like atoms and quarks and like shit like that. Like we knew there was something at play. We just didn't know what. But like,
I mean, technically the speed of light does change, depending on the medium with which it is traveling through.
Yeah.
The speed of light that we know is only the speed of light in a vacuum.
Yeah. Versus like, if it's traveling through water or the atmosphere or whatever, that's like how that's how light does light.
Index of refraction that you can use for calculations.
Yeah. But it's stuff like this is like, it's really cool. I don't know. I think I love the concept that like there is something we could discover one day that would completely like shatter our understanding and we wouldn't even see it coming. Like, it's totally possible. I don't know how common it is.
Yeah,
but
it happens all the time.
Yeah, like it's just such a cool concept. Like something could change one day that we go, fuck, we had no idea. This is how this thing works. Like, and like it would just domino effect that they would like either completely confirm or deny so many theories, because everything's a theory. Like, it's just so cool. I love science.
Science is fun, and my hands hurt.
Oh no, what are you crocheting?
Still on the puffin.
Oh, okay.
I'm sewing.
I thought you were doing a penguin, not a puffin.
I did say penguin, and I was wrong.
Okay,
you were incorrect.
I was not wrong about remembering. It was just a mistranslated here.
And I realized as soon as I said it, I was like, I'm not making a penguin. But then I was like, it's close enough that I'm not going to correct it.
You sent it, and you're like, that was a lie.
I was like,
Yes,
I was
that
like,
is
wow, I
exactly
can't
what
believe Reese
happens.
has moved on to a second very similar animal.
Nope. I said the wrong thing, and I was like, well, I'm not correcting that. They're close enough.
Close enough. Yeah, okay, that makes sense. Yeah, I keep feeling the need to get into crocheting just simply because everyone else is getting into crocheting and keeps telling me how much I should get into it. But I just don't know. I don't know. I don't think I have time for another hobby right now.
You don't have to if you don't want to.
I know,
You
but
simply do not.
it's one of those like instincts of like I would like to be involved with the things that my friends enjoy. Like so like I want to partake.
Like one of your friends, one single.
I guess.
Me and Holly, and that's about it.
I mean, Emily did a little bit of it too.
Emily did a little bit, yeah.
But like it's like I don't know. This is just my like need to like I like to interact with the things my friends interact with because I think it's fun. It's like I want to participate in things that we can talk about. But yeah, I simply do not have the time to pick up another hobby right now.
It's also an expensive hobby.
Yeah. I'm gonna keep shooting for my free hobbies like drawing on the stuff that I already own.
Like b-ball.
Like b-ball?
Ball. Like ball.
Like b-ball.
V?
Like shooting hoops and making
like
the basket.
and throwing the old pigskin.
Tossing the old pig skin.
It wasn't free for that pig, okay? I'm gonna get in trouble at some point for having this drawing on my screen. This is just a naked man.
Man, I can't believe you're drawing a vagina right now.
There's no vagina on him.
There are also no other genitals. You are drawing a hermaphrodite.
I feel the need to like that feels worse.
No, Tyrio. Sorry, can't join.
Yeah, it's here. The VC's open. You're welcome to if you want to. I don't usually do open VCs because I get anxious the more people.
Astrology?
I just get nervous because then it gets hard to talk when there's too many people in a VC, and then I'm like, but I'm.
We're talking about astrology and science.
Yeah, I'm fine to have the gang in here.
View Arcadia demands you hydrate.
I'm hydrating.
I need you to crack your back, Xander.
Yes, sir. Ouch.
Speaking of View Arcadia, I have
your
not
zodiac
started
sign?
plotting. Fuck.
Ow. What are you rotting about? Two people spoke and I didn't understand.
I have not started plotting the session tomorrow yet.
Oh God, we have a session tomorrow.
Yeah, it does happen every Sunday.
It happen every Sunday.
I forget that the time of week passes.
It's been too quick.
Hello.
Hello.
We have another one in here now. Chat, welcome in the third party member here.
Hello.
There are 4 people in this voice chat.
I forget to count me. I was just like, yeah, Emily's here and Reese is here and now Tyrio's here, third member. I did this at Texas Roadhouse too. I don't know how
did.
I forget that I'm
4,
involved.
and we were like, Xander, there are 5.
I forget that I'm here. I'm moderating. I'm just kind of just here.
Au contraire, you are the only one in this chat that is not moderating right now.
Au contraire. You know what? You're right.
None of you guys you guys better not mess up because there are 3 mods currently fucking waiting for you to mess up. 4 if Ollie's still in here.
Oh God, all of the mods are watching. Guys, don't do fucking anything wrong. You would not believe how fast you'll get banned. My mods are quick and ruthless.
My hand's on the button and I want to press it really bad.
Yeah, give her any reason to. Give her one excuse and it's all over.
The mods are only scary if you do things wrong.
That's true. That's true.
I'm okay with being scary normally.
Sometimes it's helpful to have semi-scary mods.
People have always been scared of me and I'm okay with that. I used
People
to not
have always
be.
been scared of me and it makes me sad.
I hope I'm not.
It makes me really sad.
People are petrified of me.
I don't understand it.
Even
It
in
makes me
fucking
very
high school.
upset.
It was always like when we first started, the dynamic was always like Tyrio and Ollie were like
The nice
the
mods.
nice ones, and me and Reese were the mean ones.
I mean, Reese, did it always bother you? Because you were super okay with it in the beginning, or at least you expressed that you were super cool with being the scary mod.
I'm okay with being the scary mod because that's like my job, but when it carries over into just me being a person,
See,
is when it gets a little
and
rough.
I'm always baffled that people
But
actually
I think
view.
that was always there was always like throughout high school, people were like, I was so scared of you, I didn't want to talk to you, so that I like didn't have friends because people didn't want to talk to me because I had an RBF.
See, and
People thought I was a bitch, so it's okay.
I'm baffled that like if people actually get to know you, like how they could view you as scary, because like you're all like every creature you identify with is just this like circular thing with big eyes that is just intently friend shaped. Like you are like Kirby and like
What do you
small
mean?
round
Kirby
frogs. Like I mean like this dude, my little frog that you got, like this just feels like you. You're just little round guys who want to be
Just a
friends.
guy.
Like
Unwrap him.
No.
Why is he still wrapped?
he's in the fetal position.
He's doing compression therapy.
Yeah, he's in hug form right now.
I think
Loki.
that what I want to be perceived as is just a little critter.
You're just a little critter.
You are a little critter, and it's amazing.
Just simply just a critter. Why does the cream cheese ad
Just a
have to do
little
with cats?
guy.
I don't know.
Loki thinks I'm terrifying.
Well, Loki's also been put in place by you, haven't they?
That is true.
No, it's just during Minecraft lore.
Loki's
Just
also been put in
Minecraft lore.
place by you in the Minecraft lore. Okay, yes, Reese can be scary when they use their commanding voice, but also it's not super common that pops up. It's usually in like roleplay. Like, in which case, most people are scary when they put on a demanding voice. Like, I always feel weird pulling out my big voice.
Make your big boy voice.
Yeah, my big boy voice. I don't pull it out very often, but every once in a while,
Big mean words for the big mean man.
even like when I do like my stern voice, like towards people that are like, hey, like this is like drawing a line, like even that I don't pull out a whole lot, but like actually like a command yell voice, the only thing I ever use that voice at is my fucking cat. like I yell at my cat and that's it, and it's only when he is actively in danger of hurting himself or something else, like the lizard or the other cat.
I have to use my commanding voice quite often in sports, but that's about it.
See, and that's a good reason for it.
I'm still
Mostly because I just need to be loud and people need to listen to me.
Yeah, there's a good reason for that. You have to have a voice for that.
I'm still learning how to use my commanding voice. I can't even use it on my cadets anymore.
You gotta like grow a backbone and just start using it.
Hair.
Grow a pair, yeah. Grow a penis.
Cereal.
Get it.
Balls.
Whip your dick out and just be in charge.
I try. I just want to be
If
lovable.
somebody starts being a fool, then you can sick them.
Yeah.
I know when someone's being a fool, and I've yelled at them before. But when it comes down to talking and like things go wrong, I just want to be lovable.
Yeah, and that's true. A lot of people don't want to have that commanding voice. And admittedly, I don't even like having to use it when I do use it. But like it's something that like even like there's circumstances where it's useful, and there's circumstances where having that big boy voice isn't helpful and useful in the circumstance anyways. Like being a teacher. I've tried to pull out that voice as a teacher once before.
Big boy voice just makes it worse, man.
Yeah, it genuinely does escalate the situation. Like more often,
Unless they already respect you, it's not gonna help.
right? Exactly. The respect has to already be established, and they also have to understand that big voice comes out with reason and intent, and also follow through, which is way harder to prove. Like,
Yeah. The only times when I was with my kids over the summer, the only times that I would pull out the big boy voice, and I literally told them at the beginning of the summer, like, I'm not going to raise my voice at you.
Yeah.
So if I do raise my voice at you, that means that there is something immediately going on that you need to listen to me for your own safety or the safety of those around you. And it worked flawlessly. Because
yes,
the few times I did have to pull it out were when we were like at the pool and there was a thunderstorm coming, and I'd use my big boy voice and they'd be like, oh shit, Miss Tess means business, and then they get out of the pool.
I had the same situation. I worked at a when I was in college, I worked at a summers camp essentially. And so when I was put in charge of the class, like I always made it clear, like I definitely have always been one of those teachers that I'm more of like one of the friends than one of the teachers. Like, and I'm like, I'm not gonna yell, I'm not here to scold, I'm not even here to get you in trouble. Like, if you have something that's happening that's really gonna cause problems or whatever that you're afraid of getting in trouble with, come tell me, because you can get in trouble and I'm an adult, so I don't get in trouble. Like, let me handle your situations for you. Like, so I had a lot of kids who were really great with me, but I like you said, I made it very clear, like, if that voice comes out, if I'm yelling, it's because you need to listen immediately, because it is for your safety or mine. Like, something has to happen right then and then. So if I'm like, if we're all out at the pool, or even like we had to go to parks and shit where we had to cross streets, and it's like we were a busy college campus where it's like, I have 30 of you that I'm trying to cross the street right now. Like, I don't play games. If you're fucking around in the street, I'm gonna yell, because if one of you gets hit by a car, I'm gonna have a fucking issue. You know what I mean? Like, so it's like one of those things, like, yeah, I will like raise that voice if it's a situation where I need you to listen immediately, which is why using it all the time makes it fucking useless, because they don't listen. They don't assume it's a major event. They just assume I'm getting yelled at again. Oh, I hated having to pull it out on the kids too, because it always scared the fuck out of them, because I'm fucking screaming across the road at them. And it also is because I'm usually in a high stress situation. If I'm pulling that out, like, I'm scared. That's why I sound like this. Like,
Yeah.
I think there's been one time where I pulled out the voice on my cadets at school, and I told them beforehand, I'm probably never going to raise my voice, but that doesn't mean that you don't listen to me when I say something.
yeah,
Because I'm in charge here, and
Yeah.
I'm an upper rank, and you gotta listen to me. But the one time that I did raise my voice and like seriously yell at them was when there was an active situation at another school, and we were in an active like lockdown and needed to be ready in case we needed to go into the safe room.
yeah,
But they were fucking around and making jokes and stuff and like pretending something was happening, and they were, and so I just sort of yelled, and I was like, hey, stop that shit, it's not funny.
yeah,
They looked over and they were like, oh, okay.
yeah. It's like, the more you use it, the less effective it really does become. Especially if it never comes with a follow-up. Like, if you're just screaming and expecting them to listen and nobody's listening and nothing changes because you don't have a follow-up for it, like, they start to realize that, like, yeah, this doesn't have any actual consequence. It doesn't hold any real bearing. Like, I can ignore this yell and nothing comes of it. Like, that's where you start to run into those, like, issues. I genuinely, when working with, like, middle school kids and stuff, have definitely picked up that, like, the quiet serious means so much more to them than the loud serious. Like, if I was going to yell at the whole classroom to be quiet, they knew, like, okay, something serious is happening. But if the kids are just fucking around and I just, like, walk up to them and, like, real quietly put my hand on their desk and I was like, last chance, and walk away, it's like,
yeah, absolutely.
Like, that's so much worse for them. Like, I don't have to yell. I'm not mad at you. I'm not even, like, frustrated. I don't give a fuck. But if you piss me off again, you're going to spend the rest of this day sitting at my desk and doing my work instead of doing anything else. Like, I will have my issues, and I will follow through on it too.
There's also such a definitive difference between just like being a little bit loud for a second to get attention and like big boy voice.
Oh yeah.
Like, all the time I'd have to be like, hey, like, quiet down for like a split second, and then they'd quiet, and then we'd have a normal conversation.
Exactly, yeah.
There's a difference between that and like a big boy voice.
Yeah, there's a difference between like the big boy of like, this is a serious situation, and the I need my voice to be louder than the class so y'all can hear me.
And even then, it's just like, I need to be louder than you for a split second so that you know to quiet down to listen.
Yeah, like, I just need to be heard by everybody. And I really preferred just using visual for it, where I would actually, in my middle school classroom, they were sick of, like, they didn't like having to get yelled at to quiet down, and it often took forever anyways. And so I would just walk down the middle aisle and just tap on both of their desks. I was like, all right, done. And like, as I like walked down the aisle, I would like tap each table as I went down, and each table would kind of like look at me and be like, oh, okay. And they would have until I got to the front of the room to finish up their conversation. And then by the time I was up at the front of the room, the front two people were finishing their conversation and everybody had my attention. Like, and it was just, it was easy and it was quiet and they loved it.
I was with like 7-8-year-olds, and it was a summer camp. It wasn't a classroom.
That's
scenario,
a world of difference.
They're like running around and screaming, and I just needed to be loud to be heard for a split second so that I could talk normally.
Yeah, especially if you're outside, you really gotta shout to make sure everybody can hear you. It's like, otherwise, like, I'm like screaming into the grass, especially if we're like playing tag and they're like scattered across the four winds, and you're like, what the fuck?
If my cadets are fucking around and I need to talk to them, the funniest way that I get them to pay attention is I just stand and I just scream like at the top of my lungs. And this is always funny. I just scream, "Fall in!" And they trip over themselves trying to get into formation.
Just sprinting.
They do, and it's so funny, and they love it too.
Yeah.
They go all in for that shit.
Yeah, especially if you make it a game. Oh my god, like I used to do it when I was at the summer camp, that there were circumstances in which I was like, okay, if you can tell that I'm trying to get everyone's attention, if you're like the first couple of people to me, you get extra whatever it is that day. You get extra snack if you're one of the first people who get over there. You get, you get to carry the thing back. You get to choose our activity when we get inside, whatever it is. So it was like a race. So they always kind of had like half an eye on me, trying to see like, oh, when's he gonna say it? When's he gonna say it? Like trying, like, because they knew time was coming up. So it was fun to like make it that like paying attention to me was beneficial to them, because extrinsic rewards and all of that shit.
Mm-hmm.
But it's, God, yeah. Also, who said it in chat? Crystal? Yeah. Saying I wish I was scarier. Being scary isn't the goal here. And I used to think it was, that you're like, yeah, you have to be scary for people to listen to you. It's not about being scary. It's about the respect that comes from people listening to you. And sometimes being scary is a way to get people to listen to you, but being scary is not a good way to get people to listen to you, because they're listening out of fear, and that doesn't last long. Like, if you can get people to listen to you out of respect rather than fear, you will have a lot more dynamic control over them that is a lot more long lasting and reasonable. Like, whereas like being scary, like that shit doesn't last. Like that goes away. People move on. People grow up. Like, it's not a long lasting, secure way to get people to listen to you. But I get where the desire to be is, because like being scary means that people don't fuck with you. But like, it's not usually very beneficial. Think about it in the terms of like the power video. Like, there are different types of power that you can hold, and being scary is a type of power, but it's not a long-lasting power. It is something that people eventually will turn on you. It's the same thing like...
Authoritarian, no bueno.
Exactly. Authoritarian. Like, I was just going to say, like parents. A lot of kids listen to their parents because they're scared of them. And that only lasts until your kids ain't fucking scared of you anymore. And that happens eventually. Like... But... yeah. I want to be respected and a bit scary. Not a lot, but just a bit scary. And I get that, because it also feels like it comes with a level of power, and also is just an interesting way to be viewed by people.
And honestly, I think respect to some degree does come with a little bit of, not like fear, but like...
yeah, I know what you mean.
Like, awareness.
Yeah.
Because they know, like, if they respect you, they're like, they're scared more so of disappointing you than they are of you.
Yeah.
Which I think is a better type of fear to hold.
Yeah.
People are scared of making you upset than they are of you.
Oh, for sure. I would much rather know that people are afraid of upsetting me or afraid of disappointing me.
Like letting, yeah.
Yeah. Rather
absolutely.
than, I would never want somebody to be truly, genuinely afraid of me for any reason, under any circumstance. Because I also used to be that kid. Like, people were a little bit more afraid of me when I was in like middle school up to like freshman year of high school, because I was a certain type of kid in school. But like, yeah, I was a little bit unhinged, and so people were afraid of me, not in the sense that they respected me, but in the sense of like I was unpredictable. So like they were like, I don't know what the fuck he's gonna do. But like that's its own circumstance. And I don't like that feeling. Like, it was useful for the situation I was in, but it also like is not like a feeling I want. Like, I don't want to feel like people fear me.
I just had an RBF and I walked fast, and I was the field hockey goalie, so people were like, you're definitely able to fight people, and it's like, I really am not.
Right.
But that was what they thought.
And that's beneficial. I also, when I was mid-high school era, and also even early college era, I dressed to appear scary. I wore like big boots and like all black, and like very much dressed myself to look tense, and I'll fight you, and would walk with like that intensity in my face in my walk, because it was a self-defense mechanism, because I, like, at least in college, I was walking dark streets in a busy city where I wanted it to be very clear, don't touch me, don't fuck with me. Because if people were scared of me, I was in a safer position. Like, and if people ever even spoke to me, they would immediately understand that I was not a threat. Like, but it was more of like a safety barrier that, like, if I look this way, I'm in less danger than if I was like to slip on a dress and go like dancing through the streets. You know what I mean? It's a goofy way to think about it, but it was useful.
I used to
I
always.
never-
Sorry.
Go for it.
I used to, and a person that we once knew once told me that they were scared to talk to me simply because of my size. I didn't have to look any way. They were just really intimidated by how tall I was.
Yeah. I feel like that can be a thing. Like, if you're like being tall has some perks. I don't come across as very scary because I'm kind of a little guy. Like, if you didn't want to interact with me, you could put your hand out and I wouldn't be able to reach you. Like, I'm a little dude, but like, yeah, height has some minor advantages there, even if you don't mean it to be.
What were you saying, Serena?
I've got kind of a weird relationship with like being scary and like being intimidating. So I always like I wasn't scary. I'm not that tall. I'm not that strong. I look like the most preppy motherfucker in the world. I don't really look very intimidating. I have an RBF and I walk kind of like a queer lesbian woman. Like I walk really like I don't know. I saw a video of someone being like, yeah, lesbians on a walk, and it was just the way I walk. It's just like I walk really like I look like I got somewhere to be.
Yeah.
And I don't want people to be like scared of me, but I also have like the urge to be intimidating or scary, or I want people to think of me as like capable of being strong or scary,
Right.
which I probably shouldn't, but I do. But I'm also like I'm not physically built. I'm not very strong. It's why I also like I'm always like I want to work out and I want to like be physically stronger because I don't like that I am a weak individual. I don't like being like I don't like looking or being helpless just
Right.
because of my own self-esteem. I like being scary and I like people being intimidated by me in a weird way because I'd rather people be scared of me than think that I'm a fucking pushover.
Yeah.
I don't want people to be scared of me like upon meeting me, but I'm fine with people being scared of me while looking at me.
See, yeah, I definitely think there's like a relationship with it. Like, I don't think there's anything wrong with wanting to be viewed as like strong and capable and powerful and even to some degree scary. Like, because that's just like, I don't know. It's just like there's like a certain degree of like benefit that comes with that. And also like, it feels good to have people look at you and think capable and not think like, you know, like, ah, she's fucking, you know, she can't do shit or whatever. Like, there's benefits to having that view. So I don't know. It's an interesting one. I also like scary dog type thing. Like I personally want to be viewed to a certain degree as scary in public, oftentimes because I like to be protective. I am a very protective individual and I want to appear that comes from a place of genuineness, like that I am capable of protecting, if that makes sense. Like that might be one of the pieces of like being a quote unquote man that I like genuinely really value is like I am protective of my friends and I also want people to see me and understand that I am capable of protecting my friends, and I also want to actually physically be capable of it. Like there's a lot of like extra like caveats to it. Like I don't want anyone to be afraid of me.
Man.
Yeah, I don't want anyone to be afraid of me. I just want people to understand that I want them to think, and I also want it to be true, that I am capable of following through and protecting. That's really what it is. Not that like any of my friends physically need to be protected anymore. Like we're not in that circumstances, like for the most part. Not many of us are running into that. But like
I'll just put my gear on and be like, you want to go now? You want to go now?
You sure? Like, yeah. And I don't know.
I have armor.
I also like I had the benefit when I was growing up for a lot of my childhood. I don't know what the word for it is. Preteens and teenage years.
Adolescence.
Yeah, there you go. Thank you. for my adolescence years that I had people who were doing that job for me. Like, this sounds really goofy. I was talking to Emily about this earlier. I had people who protected me when I was in middle school and high school because I made friends with the big scary dog people, both boys and girls that I was really close with. That meant that when I was in circumstances where I was physically in danger, I didn't have to worry about it a whole lot because I had people I knew I could turn to that would physically protect me when the circumstances came to it. And as much as it's weird to say and admit, like, the circumstances did come to it, and they did do their situations, and I had almost been jumped several times in high school and had a guy who jumped in and took care of shit. Like, like, it's one of those, like, I almost, like, want to, like, pay it forward that, like, I had someone there, like, when I was in danger that took care of shit for me, and, like, I want to do right by that and, like, make sure that I can do that for people. So that, like, people aren't... I want people to, like, be around me and know that they're not in danger. Like, I want people to feel safe around me. It's, like, one of my only traits that I'm, like, really into, like, the man's job being the protector. Not that I feel like anyone needs it, but just that's, like, a role I want to play. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm. No, when I'm sitting in your living room, I'm terrified.
Like, it's just, like... I don't know. I always feel weird saying it because it's like one of those things that like the men's role doesn't need to be protector and it's a really toxic masculine thing and women can handle themselves. And it's like, yes, all of those things are true. And I don't deny a single one of those things. I don't want it to be a toxic thing. I don't want to feel like I need to do more than I have to. I don't want my friends to think think they're capable. I just value being able to say, like, if my friends wanted to go on a walk at night, that they felt like they could do that because, like, I want to be capable of being the protecting, like, to make sure that they're safe. I don't know. It's a weird relationship with masculinity. I don't know. The world is weird. I'm trying to defend myself here. I don't know why.
This makes me think of when Wicked was desperately trying to get me to protect myself at school, and I'm just like, Wicked, I can't.
Right, and that's...
I just can't.
And I totally, absolutely, 100% understand where she's coming from, because there are circumstances in which I would have agreed with her and said, yes, defend yourself, stand up for yourself, go take care of it. Like, you know, and it was goofy because we felt like the parents fighting of like me being like the dad who doesn't care of like, just tough it out, and her being the mom who's like marching down to the principal's office of like, you will not treat my child this way. Like, you know, we very much played the two parents for a little bit, but like, I also come from a circumstance where I know damn well it, like, I did that shit. I tried to involve the higher ups and get somebody in trouble for causing me problems. And I also have seen my friends do that. I had people who protected me. Ian did not. Ian got his nose broken because he told on somebody. Like, you'll get your ass kicked for that kind of shit, at least where I come from. And that might be different for Wicked. Like, the school that I came from, if you fucking ratted somebody, you'd get your ass kicked, regardless of, like, if you got somebody suspended and they're like, oh, well, then now they've been suspended. Great. They're gone for 3 days, and when they're back, I hope you're ready, because they're gonna fucking kick your ass. Like, that's just, like, what I'm used to, and especially when you're so close to being out and not having to deal with it anymore. I cannot fathom you being in a situation where, like, you did try to stand up for yourself, some kind of fight broke out, and you were denied, like, getting to walk the stage because you were involved in a fight, or getting your JROTC shit because you were involved in a fight. Like, losing those because you tried to defend yourself just sometimes isn't worth it. And I hate to say that because I always want you to defend yourself, but there's circumstances where it's hard.
Mm-hmm.
I hope all that makes sense.
Myself.
Well,
I'm to the point where it's like, I will defend myself verbally, and I will fucking fight you verbally.
Right.
But, like, if anything comes down to it, and I think I've told you before about when it came down to it, I was just like, I can't.
Yeah.
I can't.
And that is okay. Like, the shit's hard, man. Like, protecting yourself, protecting your friends, being protective in general. Like, there are so many circumstances in life that, like, this shit's not easy. It's complicated.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's not always so simple as, like, what people make it out to be. Even, like, standing up to bullies and shit. That's why I said, like, when I was talking to you about it, like, I was like, I have advice, but it's not advice that you want or advice that's helpful. Like, because the situation that you're in, my first piece of advice would be, A, it's almost over, tough it out, which sucks. And B, Otherwise, your other option is to freak him out, which isn't beneficial for everybody. It's just what worked for me. And I don't recommend it to most people because sometimes it doesn't work. But like, that's the kind of kid I was. Like, I stopped getting bullied for a couple of years because I was like physically bullied a lot. But like, I prevented it for a series of years because I was an unpredictable fuck who would fly off the handle, and I didn't do anything physical to anybody. But like, I remember somebody taking my notebook out of my hands, and I just stood up and started screaming. That's not beneficial. That's fucking weird. They never took something out of my hands again, though, because they were fucking horrified that I had just started screaming, and now everybody in the cafeteria is staring at you. Like, I'm used to getting stared at. This bitch ain't. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's not beneficial.
Mhm.
It's not good advice. It's just the only way I knew how to defend myself. Because I can't fight. I couldn't. I'm a little better now, but like middle school, 6th grade, I'm not capable of fighting.
I think God, that reminds me of one time. I used to deal with this girl at school, and this stemmed off of the singular time I wore my tail to school for Halloween.
Yeah.
And she was giving me shit, and I can't remember what she did that prompted me to do this, but I just slowly turned to her with my eyes really, really wide and just stared at her.
Yeah,
She was like, "What the fuck is your problem?" And I was like, "What happened?"
yeah. It, like, you can sometimes just weird people out into leaving you the fuck alone.
Mm-hmm.
And like I said, I highly don't actually recommend this practice to 90% of people because it's not usually a beneficial thing to do. But sometimes shit works. And sometimes it's the only option you have. Like,
Mm-hmm.
God, I'm getting frustrated with this hair. It's not doing what I want it to do right now, and it's starting to drive me crazy. I don't know how to draw this motherfucker. Anyways.
Is that who I think it is?
It's Azazel. It's Azazel.
Sorry, I didn't look at the stream until right now.
That is okay.
It's him.
It's my boy. Don't mind the censor towel. I have to censor him because he's just simply wearing so little clothing that since I haven't drawn his clothing yet, it looks like this bitch is naked.
Is he wearing a Nushanka?
Is he wearing what?
A Nushanka?
Right now he's just wearing a black box, but
No, the Russian fluffy hat.
oh, no. This will be a flower crown. Right now it's just a shape.
Oh, okay.
I promise he's not wearing the Russian fluffy hat. No.
I thought he was wearing a hat too.
No, this will eventually be a flower crown. I just needed to pencil the shape in. I promise he's not wearing the Russian fluffy crowns.
Russian fluffy crowns.
Or Russian fluffy hats. Sorry, I don't know how to talk.
I like bullying you for that.
Yeah, everyone does. It's okay. I'm used to my place in the world. There we go. That's more of what I want. I'm simply copy pasting that. Fuck you guys. Fuck your hair. Fuck you, Azazel. Fuck I like catching people off guard with the fact that, like, in like the way that it would technically be pronounced biblically, his name is actually Azazel, and I hate it.
I like Azazel.
Yeah, I say Azazel, but biblically his name would be Azazel.
Azazel sounds like a strain of weed.
Yeah.
Get some of that Azazel.
You got that Zazel. Okay, there we go. Oh, no, redo. Give it back. Okay, there we go. Accidentally took his hair away again. Okay. See, there we go. This is doing more of what I want it to do. And then give me the rest of his hair back.
Emily, have you seen that Lethal Company animation with a "No, he's mine! Give it back!"
Oh yeah, I have.
I saw it again today on TikTok and it was really funny.
I want to play Lethal Company so bad. It looks so interesting.
It definitely does look interesting.
I'm okay just watching it.
Yeah, it's one of the games that I'm sure it's really, like, I enjoy watching it, but I just don't know if, like, it's I don't know. It looks like fun. I don't know.
Yeah. I'll stick with Phasmophobia, but like
Yeah.
At least I'll try it once and then be like, oh, okay. And it's on the computer for the rest of my life, and I never touch it again.
Yeah, that's where I probably will avoid it, because I'm like, yeah, it's another trend game, and I'm sure everybody will really enjoy it, and it genuinely does look like fun, but it's just like, nah. Most games I prefer to just watch anyways, so.
Yeah. It's also that I don't understand the like, you gotta open this door, and then you gotta be at the control thing and have them open door, and I'm just like, oh.
Yeah, no idea. Yo, no say. I love
Ollie,
you.
I love you.
We love you too, Ollie. Hello.
Hey, Ollie.
I never got bullied, but I did deal with other kids that bullied my brother sometimes when we were younger. Honestly, it was in a school that I was with the same class for my entire 8 or 9 years of my school. Yeah, I don't know. You said everyone was bullying you. I was trying to help. Aw, thank you. Okay. Thank you. I didn't know if it came out of nowhere. I'm sorry. I forget to look up a chat sometimes when I'm drawing. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like I'm like one of those people that, like, yeah, I had like a lot of experience with like physical bullying, but it didn't really affect me a whole lot because I had so much other shit going on that I just really didn't care, which is kind of weird to say. Like, I don't know. It's like just a thing.
I'm pretty sure I got bullied more than I thought I did. I just didn't notice it because I was doing my own thing.
Yeah. Just simply could not be asked. Like,
I do not think I got bullied at all, but I also did not interact with anyone.
that's valid. That's another way to go about it. I think I know for a fact I got bullied a lot, like, verbally, but like that wasn't usually like a major issue for me for most part because I didn't really care much. But I do know for a fact that like I had a weird experience with physical bullying that like I feel like should have had an effect on me, but just didn't end up having a lot of effect on me, which is like, I don't know. It was weird. Like I got like dragged down hills and shit and like shoved down staircases, and it's like, well, oh well. Like, I don't know. Whatever. I don't care. Like, I wasn't ever like seriously injured.
I think people respected me enough because I was like top of the class and also a pretty high caliber athlete.
There you go.
But they didn't respect me enough for me to be like popular.
Yeah.
They just respected me enough to not really care who I was.
There you go. You had the middle ground. Yeah, I was
Like, I didn't know people, but people were like, yeah, you're on the field hockey team, right? And I'd be like, yeah, and they'd be like, cool. Do you know this person? And I'd be like, yep. I've been playing with them for 3 years, and they'd be like, bye.
I was not respected. I'll say that for sure. In the school hierarchy, I was about as low down as you get, besides maybe the furries, which were really hated in my school. But even then I got roped in with them because I used to wear dog collars at school. And when I mean dog collars, I mean I legitimately took the old collar my dog used to wear, and it was a pink collar, and I colored it black with a Sharpie, snuck it in my backpack, and put it on at school. I know, whatever. I was doing my best, okay? But like, I also was just having a good time and didn't really care that other people thought I was fucking weird. It only like really became an issue if it was like the like physical shit. But like besides that, I was just simply chilling. Like, I don't know. Like high school, I shouldn't say I was chilling. High school was one of the worst times of my entire life, but most of it wasn't because of bullying. Most of it was because of my friend group, actually. Me and Siren were legitimately just talking about this on the couch like all day. We were like talking about like our school experiences and shit. And like, I had one of the worst high school experiences I can imagine simply because of the people I chose to be friends with. So there's your warning for the day, kids. Fucking pick and choose your friends wisely, because that shit changes your experience.
And if you have a bestie in high school, they're probably not going to be your bestie for long.
They won't. I'm sorry. Because I feel like there's a lot of reasons. But A, you're not going to see each other every day. Once you are out of high school, you don't see people every day. And some people are really good friends because you see them every single day. But also from the circumstances of like, right after high school is where the most changes happen in people's personality and lives. as everyone like splits off to like find who they are and what they want out of life and where they want to go in the world, like everything changes right after high school because suddenly like the world is open to you. And even people that you really, really love and you really, really care about, you might just have different paths in life, man. Like you might just be going different places. And that is so okay.
It doesn't mean that you won't be friends with them. It just means that
Yeah.
you probably won't be besties anymore.
Yeah, and that's okay. Best friends as an adult look different than best friends in high school. That was like one of the hardest things for me to learn. Was like what it means to be somebody's best friend in high school is not what it means to be someone's best friend as an adult. Those things look intrinsically different. Like I don't know. I had my friends when I was in high school, but even then, like it was like to be somebody's best friend, you had to see them like every single day. You had to text every single day. You had to have sleepovers like all of the time. Like you had to know all of their secrets. Like it was an all or nothing relationship. And then if you weren't that, or if you had any other friend, like the best friendship got called into question. Like it was very like all or nothing versus like as an adult, like I have friends that I would like, I don't know if I'd consider like say like my best friends, but like I have friends who like I just straight up don't talk to at all. But then you get back together and like it's like nothing changed. And it's like, yeah, I haven't talked to you in 6 months, but we're still like besties and I care about you and I love you no different than if we hadn't. Like, you know, I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's weird. Adulthood is really fucking weird.
Like, one of my best friends, who granted was one of my best friends in high school, sometimes they do stick around, but it really depends.
Yeah.
She just had an abroad semester in Scotland,
Ooh.
and I have not spoken to her in a year and a half.
Wow.
And she came over to my house for New Year's, and we just started chatting like we had never spent a moment apart.
Yeah, and
it's very, very different.
That is what you have to expect when it comes from adulthood, because that's part of what adulthood is. We are like busy. You are busy. You have college, you have a job, you have a family. At a certain point, you have spouses maybe, or kids or whatever. Like you can't be there every single day. Like, but there is this understanding that like, that doesn't like your feelings aren't as fleeting as when you're in high school, middle school. Like I haven't seen Rumi since we moved, like not quite since we moved out together, but it's probably been 6 or 7 months since I've seen my last roommate. And she was just texting like, hey, I can't wait to like, we got to get together again. Next time you're up, like text me, like, let's get together. And I was like, yeah, absolutely. I'd love to, like, because we're still best friends and I want to meet up and hang out with her and talk and have lunch and whatever else we do, like with the understanding that like, yes, time has passed, but just because I haven't talked to you in 6 months doesn't mean I don't fucking still love you. Like it's adulthood is weird, man. His shit's weird.
Mm-hmm.
Oh boy.
Abby, that's so fine. Because even if you don't talk to them anymore, in college, if you choose to go to college, you will have nothing but time to make plans.
Real.
Because sitting in that dorm room is one of the most boring things you will ever experience in your entire life. So
Oh,
you're
yeah.
like, oh my god, I need to go do something. So then you end up making friends anyways.
If it really is that boring, Reese, you're gonna see a lot of me then.
That's going to be a really far walk for you.
I'm gonna walk so far.
She's gonna walk.
I'll take the bus.
No, take the tram.
I'll be
I'll
friends
have
with
like games and stuff, man. The entire fall semester, I ain't gonna be anywhere.
Okay. Yeah, I don't
You
know.
underestimate how much shit I have to do from August 26th until like November 2nd.
Yeah. You've got the fucking world on your shoulders for a little while. Yeah, I don't know. I'm Oblivion, honestly, I found it a lot easier. Like high school's a different story because again, high school, like your only responsibility is to go to school. And so all of your time in school is spent with your friends. And also if you're after school, like you see each other all the time or whatever. But like once you're in college and high school, or college and like, I guess life afterwards, like making those plans is less of a like, hey, can I come over to your house after school? And more of like actually planning out like, okay, December 21st, all of us are free. We're going to get together and we're going to have like food at my house and a presentation night or whatever. And so like, it's more of like it's not like making these like little plans that you have to commit to every day, but it's like these like, it's, I don't know, something about it is, it's very different. Sometimes I miss.
It's either that or it's a text message that says, "I'm outside your door, open it."
Also, sometimes, yeah. Admittedly, that was more of my high school experience than anything else. That was like how
That
high
was
school
not my
was.
high school experience. We also lived pretty far apart. I had a really, really big district. It would take like 20 minutes to drive to other people's houses.
Yeah, I had a friend in high school who her parents often kicked her out because they didn't want her in the house. And so like she also wasn't allowed to have a cell phone. So I wouldn't get a text, but it would be like 7 a.m. and like my front door would just open and I'd look over and there she is. Someone's like, "Oh, hey, breakfast on the table, eat whatever you want. We got to go to school in like 10 minutes. And she's like, "Yeah, I know." Like she'd just show up before school, after school, all summer, because her parents would kick her out at 7 a.m. in summer and just be like, "Go outside and be a child," or whatever, without a cell phone. Like just kick her out in the world. And so she'd just show up at my house and I'd wake up and she's like in my kitchen eating my food. And I was like, "Oh, good morning." She's like, "Hi." Like it was just like, that's just what it was. I did the same thing to my other friend too. Like she would come to my house and I would go to a different girl's house. Like it was like just like we just show up at people's houses.
Such a visceral memory is just, "Don't come home before the street lights on."
Yup.
And then the door closing.
Hers was the same way, but it wasn't just don't come home before then. It was don't come home before then, but you better be home the second they're on. So it was like
Yeah,
this
literally.
horrible
Yeah,
dynamic
exactly.
that like she would like look outside and be like, "Oh fuck, I gotta go," and like backpacks on and I'd like look out my window and she is bolting down the road like full speed sprint. Oh, sorry, punched my microphone. But yeah, no, she also this is the lesson to all the parents out there who definitely don't watch my streams. The tighter of a leash you keep your kids on, the farther they run the second that bitch snaps.
Oh yeah.
She went a little insane the second sophomore year hit. I mean, definitely one of the most out there of my friends. She did a lot of shit. But I don't talk super highly of her.
Until you've seen somebody do cocaine.
She did not. I have another friend who has.
I have a couple friends that have, and it's like, what?
That's
what?
what's like crazy. Like my college
Where?
roommate was
How?
really into shrooms and acid. I was like,
It's like, where do you get these things? How does this happen? I'm so confused.
For legal reasons, this is a joke, but also I know someone if you need it. Like, unironically.
For legal reasons, JK.
For legal reasons, JK. But also, I remember being in college and being my second year of like exams and everything. And like on the verge of tears because it's finals week and I literally couldn't study. I couldn't read my textbook because I couldn't study and I was like in tears because I couldn't focus. And it was so like end of the world because I was still in nursing at this point. So I was like trying to study for a nursing final and I was like ready to fucking throw up. And I remember texting my friend who for legal reasons doesn't do anything, but definitely has access to things. And I remember her like texting her and being like, "I don't care what you have to do or where you get it. I need Adderall." And she like messaged back like, "So do you want to talk?" And I was like, "Listen, I'm desperate. I don't know what else to do." And like, obviously she didn't actually like, she talked to me later and she's like, if that's something you actually want, we can talk about it, but not while
There's
you're
a
like
school
this.
psychiatrist.
Yeah, and so I did end up just going to a psychologist and getting diagnosed with ADHD and getting it the legal way. But like I was like ready, like I was like finally reached out to her. I was like, "You said any day. This is the day. Give it." And she's like, "No." I'm like, "Oh, come on."
There was a kid that lived across from me my freshman year, and during exams, he texted me and he was like, "Can I have some of your apps?" And I was like, "No,
Great question. Good try. No.
I need that." And we were also in the same class that he was asking for it for. And it was like the easiest fucking class I've ever taken in my entire life.
My God.
I need Adderall. I haven't even studied, and I got like a 95 on the final.
Yeah. My God.
My roommate, you guys already know about my roommate. She did a lot of things.
Yeah. Shit's crazy, man. People just be doing shit, like for real. Like people just legitimately
Yeah,
just
like, huh?
I don't get it. I I unironically, like, at all of my doctor's offices, like, I've had to, like, make it clear when they're like, yeah, like, have you smoked? No. Have you drank? No. Have you done anything recreational? No. And they're like, really? And I was like, yes, I am the most straight edge bitch you will run into. I don't drink. I don't smoke cigarettes. I don't smoke weed. I don't fucking do literally anything. Like,
and they look at you and they're like, you're in college though, and you're like, yeah.
Yeah.
And they're like, you can be honest, and I'm like, I am.
I know. One of my fucking nurses that I had spoken to was like, man, your surgeon's gonna love you. And I was like, yeah, I'm glad I don't do any of these things, because like even if like you smoke nicotine or vapor at all, like you have to stop for like 6 months before a surgery or whatever, like, because it's horrible. But yeah, I just like remember them being like, yeah, your surgeon's gonna love you. And I was like, how? I don't know how rare it is. Maybe I am rarer than I think, but like I feel like it can't be that rare that you run into someone who just doesn't do any of it. Like, is it really that rare? Like, I don't know. Maybe I'm crazy. I feel like it can't be. But yeah, no, I've like, I have drank a couple of times. I've never been drunk. I don't think I've ever even been buzzed, except maybe in Mexico. I've tried a vape once. It was strawberry flavored. And
Awful. Yep.
it was awful, actually awful. And I was handed a dab pen once. And I think I like kind of half-heartedly sucked on it and handed it back. I don't even think I actually tried it. Like, I was just like, put it in my mouth and then gave it back.
That's the exact same thing that happened to me. I was like, sure, and then just kind of put it in my mouth.
Yeah, I didn't want to stop the conversation to be like, sorry guys, I don't do that. So I just like put it in my mouth and handed it on.
Yeah.
And like my one friend who was with me who knows I don't do that, like looked at me like she was about to say like, oh, like he doesn't do that or whatever. And then I just like put it in my mouth and she like looked at me like, what? And I like handed it on and she just like, oh, I see. I was like, it was fucking goofy. But sometimes it's just not worth the conversation.
With strawberry kiwi, and it was awful.
I'm also one of those bitches that like I like to fit in at parties when I went to parties, because that's a thing. But like I remember being the person like, yeah, of course I'll take a drink, and like I will like slowly sip one drink for the entire night. Or like when I was in high school, I remember like accepting like one of the drinks from like my friend's dad and be like, oh yeah, thanks, and like sitting around the bonfire and like other people going up to use the bathroom and me like pouring a little into the grass. Because I don't like drinking.
No, that's so hard.
It like I don't like drinking. I don't like the taste. I'd like there's no reason, but I don't want to be the person that everybody's like, come on, just like I don't want to deal with it.
My favorite is showing up to parties with a cup in my hand and people being like, what are you drinking? And I'm like, I look at it, I look back at them, and I'm like, lemonade.
Lemonade.
Like, yeah, what's in it? And I'm like, lemons.
Yeah, it's lemonade. What do you think's in it? Like,
or sometimes it's just ice water. And people are like, oh, you don't have to lie. And I'm like, you want a sip? And then they take a sip and they're like, oh, that is just water.
That is legitimately just water. Oh my god, I have such a funny when I was like, I don't know, I must have been like 15. I have a thing, like I fucking love ice water, which sounds super goofy, but like whenever I see like a glass of water with ice in it that's got like sweat on the sides, I just have this like instinct of me to like, oh my god, I need a sip because that looks fucking good. Right, and it was like I walked to the kitchen, my mom had one sitting on the table, and I'm like one of those people that I'm like, it's my mom, I don't give a fuck, I'm gonna grab that and take a sip of it because man, that looks good. And she didn't have the time to say, as I grabbed it and took a swig of it, that it was not in fact water. And so I downed like a huge gulp of Malibu is what it was.
Ooh.
Unmixed with anything, because she was in the fridge grabbing something to mix in with it. And so it just a huge swig of Malibu, and she's like, wait, oh, and I was like, what is that? And why is it warm? Like it was like such a weird experience, but oh my god, it caught me so off guard because like it's not like,
why does my mouth burn?
Yeah, it was like my first time having like a big enough swig of alcohol that like I could feel the burn in my throat. I was like, whoa, that's weird. And she's like, yeah, are you okay? And I was like, yeah. It's like honestly, it didn't taste bad. It was like coconut Malibu or whatever. It was fine. It tasted good, but like
Sounds awful.
I know it sounds awful. Especially to people who don't like coconut, but I'm a huge coconut fan, and she was getting pineapple juice to mix into it, which is like I actually am a fan of that drink, but like it was definitely it caught me really off guard, and I was like sputtered for a moment of like, whoa, what is that? It was really goofy. I don't know, man. Drinking's cringe. Do it if you want to, but if you ever feel like you have to, just fucking don't. Peer pressure is cringe. You know, I will say, I really thought peer pressure would be a bigger issue growing up.
Really, it's not that big of an issue.
Like, we were really taught, like, don't ever give in to peer pressure, and I was like, I won't, and then I just never really ran into it a lot.
Hi, Captain! And
Yes,
somebody
sir!
offers me their pen, and I'm like, nah, I don't do that. And they're like, oh, chill. Good for you.
I have met one person ever who has tried to pressure me into smoking weed, and I told them that they were cringe and gross for trying to make me do something I didn't want to do, and that you're the type of person who gives people who smoke weed a bad rap. And they're like, wow, you're fucking tight ass or whatever. And I was like, yeah, and you're fucking lame. I like left. And like, that was like the only time I have ever been pressured into something. Like, it just doesn't happen.
The DARE program made me think the second I set foot on a college campus, people would be shoving cocaine into my hands.
Genuinely, the DARE program was crazy. The DARE program also statistically raised drug use. Like,
Yeah.
we checked the fucking stats. That DARE program was so bad that it increased the statistics of people who did drugs. God, it was such an overwhelming failure of a program. Oh God, I don't even know what I'm drawing at this point. Hang on, I need to switch over to my face so I can grab something from my profile.
I have the most vile combination of food right now.
What vile combination could you possibly be doing?
I have mini corn dogs and a cup of hot chocolate.
You know that ain't too bad.
It's just like having mini corn dogs and then also hot chocolate does not seem like a very average
Yeah, it's
concoction.
yeah. What the hell happened with that program? That's a pretty big fail. It's because it was introducing the concept of drugs so young.
Most kids didn't know what they were.
Like, the DARE program took place in 5th grade for me. Like, I didn't know what the fuck drugs were. I mean, I knew what drugs were in 5th grade, but like, they like legitimately, we don't have that now. Yeah, the DARE program doesn't exist anymore.
Failed.
It failed massively over the course of a couple of years, and then they ended it because they realized that they fucked up majorly, because they would talk about drugs and their effects. And some kids are really into those effects, and so they go, oh man, that sounds great. I should go give that a try. Like, how did you think that introducing that as an option was going to be beneficial at the grade 5? Like, it's such a wild thing. And it also was like, it gave an obvious way to go against your people. So like, if you didn't want to fucking listen to authority, and authority is the cop standing in front of your class, because to us it was taught by the local police that they would make you stand up and give your pledge to say no to drugs. If you don't like cops or authority, the first thing you're going to do is go try drugs. Like,
the DARE officers at my school brought in a drug dog and also brought in drugs.
Yep.
To show the class how they alerted to them.
Yep.
So there was just like meth on the table in 5th grade.
Oh,
and
yeah.
The drug dog alerting to it.
You know what is a really weird experience that I didn't realize was a weird experience until I was an adult and realized it was a weird experience? When I was like 8, my dad wanted to warn me about weed. And I remember this is the weirdest fucking thing to try to explain. He wanted me to know what it smelt like so that I knew where it was or whatever. And I remember him pulling out a contact case and unscrewing one of them, and there just being a tiny pile of weed in there and making me smell it, which is fucking like weirdest.
It
was so. It's such a. I genuinely was like, oh yeah, thank you for warning me. That like now I know what that smells like. And like looking back on my
to adulthood, and you were like, what?
I was like, what? Huh? That's not. It was just such a weird, like, it didn't process in my child mind how fucking strange that interaction was. But that's weird. I don't know, man. It's such a fucking weird. Life is strange. The popular video
It
game.
also doesn't really smell that much unless you're smoking it.
I mean, it stunk a little bit, but it also stunk the same way it would if you just open a container of it. But like, it doesn't smell the same as when you're smoking. Like, but like, I mean, depending on what strand you get, some of them just fucking stink.
Ugh.
Yeah.
Tell me about it. I live in New York.
Yeah, I know there's a neighbor, one of our neighbors smoke, because every once in a while I can smell it in the back of the house here.
Yep.
But it's all of it's so fucking, it's so weird, man. I don't know. Drugs is such a wild thing. I also thought it was fairly normal when I was growing up that like my dad had made me drink when I was like 7, but like it wasn't like he was like trying to get me drunk. It's just that was my first time I ever had alcohol. Is I played a card game against my dad and I was making fun of him because his breath stunk like beer. And I was like, yeah, your breath fucking smells. It's gross. And he's like, it's not gross. It's just beer. And he's like, I'm like, yeah, it's gross. You stink. Like making fun of him or whatever, the way that you do. And he was like, fine. Like if you like, you can play the game or whatever with me. But if you lose, you have to try it so that you know what it tastes like. And I was like, no, I don't want to. And he's like, well, then don't lose. I lost the card game against him and he made me try his fucking beer. Like, it's not like that's like, it's not even like a traumatic memory because I didn't really care all that much. But it's just such a like. When I tell people that, they're always like, and I'm like, it's not that big of a deal.
No, it really isn't.
Yeah, I mean, most people's alcohol experience start with their parents, like, but it definitely is weird that it's like, you like, oh, when was your first time drinking? It's like, I was 7 and I lost a bet against my dad. Like, I was just a loser and I fucking lost my card game.
My mom made me try her champagne New Year's. I think I was like 12 or 13. And I was like, that's fucking gross. Never make me touch that ever again.
Oh yeah, champagne's fucking icky, man. I hate it. I'm not
French people.
Not a champagne person. I'm sorry, man.
Stupid French people.
Yeah. I can't draw straight lines today, man. It's driving me crazy.
You mean straight several lines on top of one another?
Yeah. Straight repetitive lines. Really struggling. Wonder why.
You have more chances to fail on that one.
I have a lot of chances to fail, and all of them are failing. I'm thinking I'm gonna cheat. I'm thinking I'm going to do.
Might as well.
Drawing a guide. Give me that symmetry. Don't make me do this on my own, because that's too much work.
So valid.
Especially for like, if it's identical on both sides of him, I am not doing the effort. Do it for me, please. Oh, me realizing his pectorals are off center. Fuck. Oh well, we'll make it work. Let me just adjust his pectorals really quickly.
Oops.
Whoopsies. Readjust your boobs, sir. There we go. That's better. Okay. Oh, this is gonna show me how uneven his body is by drawing on the symmetry tool and realizing it's not gonna show up in the same place on both sides. Fuck.
You'll draw part of the tattoo, and on the other side it'll be like 3 inches off of his arm.
No, genuinely, look, I mean, even just this, like, his neck is uneven. Like, fuck. This is gonna be so much harder than I thought it would be. It's fine. We'll make it work.
There's like a 1/2 inch gap between the collarbones.
Like, it's just like, look at that shit. Like, god damn it. Like,
no, whenever I reverse my canvas, it's always like, oh, God.
No, real. I have the worst left lean slant. Like, all of my drawings look like they're having strokes because they're all drooping to the left. And it sucks because I can't see it when it's like this. This looks perfectly even to me. And then I flip it and I'm like, oh, fuck. Like,
I just do busts. And then I'll flip it, and the one shoulder will be like 10 feet down there now.
Genuinely, it's like, where did it go?
And pointing like straight downwards, and it's like, what the fuck?
Like, how did it go so wrong so quickly?
So fast.
Okay, this is a little bit better, but we're working with it. Okay. Oh god, these tattoos are so fucking complicated for simply no reason.
You did them, so.
I know. This is my own fault. And I'll have to like go back in and like make these more pronounced on the other side. Like I'll like clean them up on the other side. But for right now, we're just gonna work with it, man. We're gonna pretend that it's fine. Oh boy. It's gonna go to like here. Tattoos are so complicated. I almost never give my characters tattoos for the simple reason of like trying to make a character like drawable and repeatable means like don't fucking do that shit. Like it's just too complicated to constantly draw them. So I almost never do, but like these have such an important narrative purpose to them, and it's not even just like, oh, a tattoo or two. Like it is full body design that like it's just like, god damn it, I hate drawing this bastard. But it's part of the world building, Reese. You know how important world building is.
World building.
I have so much I want to talk about in terms of world building.
You have to do that tonight.
I am more than happy to, genuinely. We can do it in the crust if you want to. Because then other people can come and hang if they want to, but hopefully I'm just gonna steal the conversation away and just be like, listen, I want to talk about this shit. Oh god.
I love having to shade in the enchantress's boobs.
Oh god. Draw a straight line, please. There we go. Or I guess a curved line, I don't know. Confident line. Drawing his tattoos, they're fucking annoying, but god, they look so cool.
Emily, the circle method really is just goated.
Have you
I'm aware.
You've picked up on the circle method here?
This is the first time I've tried it, and it's pretty good.
It's a good method for a reason, man. It fucking works. If it ain't broke, don't fucking fix it.
Because I am making a background. Circle.
I want to say that I'll make backgrounds, but fucking god.
I hate backgrounds. I also just hate coloring in general. If I could just finish everything with a sketch, my life would be complete.
I mean, some people do just sketches.
I like colors. Like, I like when they have colors, but I don't like doing them.
I want it there, but I don't want to do it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I want it to be there without me doing it.
Someone else do this. You gotta hire a colorer.
Artist that just sends their sketches to a coloring person.
Yeah, just do that. Just get someone else to do it.
I have like a person that lines it and then a person that colors it.
Exactly. There you go. Okay, Tyrio can't speak. They are stir-frying noodles. Thank you for the hydrate.
Tyrio hasn't spoken in like 30 minutes, so...
Yeah. Drink some of that life juice. Thank you for the liquid. Okay. Trying to figure out exactly how this tattoo works. It goes up, over, down. So like that. These tattoos are so complicated. That's the point.
I know it's so stereotypical, but god, I do love shading with purple.
Bro, it fucking works. I don't even do it very often, but it works so well.
Multiply a layer, 50 opacity, I'm set.
Yeah. It's there for a reason, man. It just fucking works.
There's so much dimension now.
I know. I love like getting to the point where I'm shading my drawing and it goes from like, man, this thing sucks to like, oh my god, look at the detail. Like, not gonna lie, you're making body art as I was ranting to Odin about me getting body art mods for Baldur's Gate 3. I love that for you. I am someone who really wants body mods, but like is too afraid to do them. Like, I don't know. Gauges are my first little tiny step into it, and it's such a tiny little like stereotypical body mod. But like, I mean, I guess tattoos also are technically a body mod, but they're like a baby's first body mod kind of thing. But I don't know, man. I think it's so cool, like what people can do to their bodies. Like it's just body art is cool, man. like even like this shit, like the scarification, I think is so fucking dope. And if I wasn't a huge pussy when it comes to pain, I would genuinely totally get scarification because I just love the way it looks. But I am simply too weak for that kind of game. I will not be doing that. But I think it's cool, and props to anybody who can do that kind of shit.
I think it's neat. I don't really like it. I won't be doing it. I also don't think that anybody that would want to hire me would be into it.
Yeah, that's also valid. And that's also why
The industry that I plan to get into is most certainly not a very progressive one.
yeah, that's also its own thing, you know? And that is like part of my own considerations is like, you know, probably not something I can do if I want to be in any form of like a professional job, which sucks because it's stupid. Me having body modifications does not make me any worse at my job, but I also get that like public view is very important and yada yada whatever, but also I have to step away for a second from my headphones because I have to grab my charger because it's about to die. Actually, I mean, we've been live for like 2 hours. I think we might call it for today. This is the 2 hours. Honestly, I got a lot more done than I thought I would, which isn't a crazy amount, but admittedly, he went from being a torso and a head to like a fully drawn person, despite him being naked. Don't mention that. And we've got the start of the tattoos going, so I'm feeling pretty good about it.
Why would it need to be mentioned?
No,
It's perfect.
It's perfect the way it is, and this is how the drawing is done. He does not get clothes. He is naked, simply naked.
It's how God intended.
He is what is it called? There's a word for it in pagan rituals. He's skyclad. That's what the word is for it. He is
Birthday suit.
he is clad in nothing but the sky itself.
He's got his birthday suit.
he got
It's his
a
birthday.
he got a birthday suit on for his birthday. He's wearing his birthday outfit. The worst. But I'm actually feeling really good about this drawing. I was feeling horrible about it yesterday, so I'm really fucking with it today, which is good. Good sign for me. But it's also at 5% battery, so gonna not let that die really quickly. Chitter chatterers, we are gonna go to Casper today because Casper happens to be live, and Casper's a huge supporter of us, so we're a huge supporter of him, which is the way it works. Also, he's fun and he's funny and he's cool. And also Emily makes his emotes, so you can go admire those.
I'm gonna go stare at him with all of my eyes.
You should do that. Thanks for hanging out, y'all. I will probably stream again later this week, admittedly. Obviously not tomorrow because I've got shit to do, but you might see some more of the writing streams going on later this week because I need to get some writing done. So I'm probably gonna get some of those in. So if we want to play marbles again, or if you want to write with me, those will be happening later this week. So, all right, be good, behave, take care of Casper, take care of yourselves, drink some water, go piss, girl, all the above. Hey guys.